Whether it's Drake, Jordan Peterson, or King Batch, they all have one thing in common: the Canadian agents of chaos, here with a rapacious appetite to destroy, disturb, and discombobulate the American people and the world at large. We must stand up and fight back against our cowardly neighbor to the north. We must stop at nothing to repel their horrible America impressions in all its forms for today and for our future. The Canadian problem, Drake, probably started around, circa 2008. They've been sending their worst ever since, around Drake and Bieber, like King Batch. Drake really epitomizes this choice and story arc entirely. They have one mission: chaos in America. For example, King Batch and his racial discourse comedy, which can only really be described as Coontel Pro. They come in many forms, okay? So insert Drake's many forms. You can guarantee it's someone else's swag, and he's doing an insert group face, and for a while, at least, pulling it off. The Thai face or whatever, okay? The entitlement they have to American politics and American culture. They'll say, oh, it's because it affects us. Well, fuck off. Canadian laws about content, okay, that heavily skew the zeitgeist in a much shittier Canadian direction.
So the Canadian Broadcasting Act requires that, okay, I'm reading this with all the excitement I can get. Canadian Broadcasting Act requires that at least 55% of all programming aired annually, if I'm Canadian, by broadcast television stations, and at least 50% of programming aired daily from 6 p.m. to midnight must be Canadian content.
Sounds like torture. Moreover, would die of drugs if I had to live in these abhorrent conditions. It continues.
Canadian Streaming Act, giving it the power to impose conditions on their operation. These can include compelling them to make use of Canadian talent, oxymoron, fucking loser, mandating that they make expenditures in support of the production of Canadian content, bad, and being ordered to improve the discoverability of Canadian content, shitty shit, on their platforms.
Which, of course, is torture to us all. Creating a Canadian algorithm advantage that we're all punished by in various forms. They're overrepresented in the algorithm, especially video essays and politics for some reason, I've noticed. This also essentially creates Drake bots for us all to suffer under a cloud of mid. Canadian mid at that, so it's much, much middier. Too many Canadians in American culture and politics. I mean, just look at your most popular internet personalities and be shocked by their Canadianness, but be warned by me. Abba and Preach, Steven Crowder, King Batch, etc. Not a fan of any of them, I'm just naming them. Drake pretended to be the biggest thing in music until he was finally put away for sex crimes. They put on an identity and run amok. Tory Lanez, King Batch. Other Canadian coonery to be listed, I'm sure. American caricatures. They put on America face and blackface. Drake is a Canadian child actor from Canadian Degrassi, and then pretends to be whatever you call this stuff. Drake's damn near got multiple personality disorder, fucking around putting all these different personalities. Drake pretending to be everybody. Insert it. Often a surprise. Rarely do they just tell you up front about their dirty little secret, being a Canadian. You have to find out for yourself, given those classic, chaotic, and cowardly Canadian tells. And that sole mission of chaos. Kamala, raised in Canada from ages 11 to 18, she's a Canadian. She's ruined. But this shows how far the reach is and just how much it can take. Drake's false America credits validate him to everyone else, but are discredited here in America, the greatest nation on earth. shows the scale and ferocity of his infiltration in the larger, shitty Canadian apparatus. Wherever Canadians go, chaos follows. Look, I don't have to list the horrors of the King Batch sketches. Of the incendiary, random, disjointed political takes. Look no further. The Drake's path of destruction. The artist stolen from, that lying is awake. Their personal swag and life endeavor made lame by a shithead Canadian. My solution? I propose we build two walls. Be openly anti-Canadian, and finally fight back once and for all to take back ourselves and our future. The current state of Drake, and what we know now, is Canada and Canadians in summary. Oh, fuck you, Canada. It's time we put our foot down and begin our openly anti-Canadian campaign. It's only a matter of time if we don't fight back now that they replace us culturally. And this is unacceptable. They must be stopped and, yes, even entirely destroyed. If not, there will be Canadians such as Drake speaking patois with James Corden, and that will be our new international entertainment. No. Until next time. Our only true commonality with you cunty conniving Canucks is pretending to have power in American politics.